Nick here with another video for something to think about. Jeremiah chapter 5 verse 31 says something interesting. It says, the prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests rule on their own authority, and my people love it this way. But what will you do when the end comes? During this time frame in Jeremiah, the nation of Israel was in sin of idolatry, injustice against their neighbor. And the prophets, the real prophets, were coming saying, if y'all don't change, consequences are going to come. And they start prophesying, especially Jeremiah, that, things are starting to turn bad and God's going to get ready to judge. And the false prophets came and said, everything's fine, everything's good. Just keep living prosperous. God's going to take care of you and everything. And what was interesting, quite naturally, because of who we are, the people believed the false prophets over the real prophets, because the false prophets were telling them what they wanted to hear rather than what they needed to hear. They had itching ears for the things that would confirm what they wanted out of God rather than what God was actually saying. And I'm afraid that all of us have been guilty of this, and some more than others, where we went to listen to things that confirmed what we wanted to hear, and we liked it that way. But what will the end be when we choose to listen what tickles our ears, choose to listen to what makes us happy, rather than listening to the truth of what God is saying? Sometimes God will give you a hard lesson, a hard message, a hard sermon that will require a life change, rather than something that's going to make you shout and dance and still be the same. I hope that we will stop being guilty of being people that only hear God when the message is what we want to hear, but open enough and discerning enough to hear when God is warning us about our behavior. And that warning is a chance for us to make a change before judgment comes. We can't be guilty of the same thing that Israel was, where the prophets prophesied falsely, the priests ruled in any way they wanted to rule, and the people wanted it that way, because that will ultimately lead to judgment. We have to learn to check our itching ears and learn to receive a message from God, even when it's something that's difficult to receive because it challenges something in us. Jesus, oftentimes when he taught, didn't end every message on a shout, didn't end it off on a good thing. Sometimes he said the message, said what had to be said, and just dropped it right there. And we have to learn to receive what God is saying so our lives will be transformed. It may not excite you, but it will change you. And in that change, it will bring excitement. God bless you all. We hope you're enjoying these lessons. Something to think about, something to consider. Talk to you later.